Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is AIM Academy, 27 July 2020, the 2 p.m. session, Indian Standard Time. A good number of students again came to me. How do you treat children in the matter of learning English? They wanted to tell exactly the way a child who has just come to the LKG at 3 years, all along nurtured in their mother tongue, Malayalam. How do you migrate them? That's a very wonderful question to ask, and I love answering. All along, the mother and the father, both of them have talked their native language, and the child has taken to the native language as a duck to water. No hesitations, no inhibitions. But today, it is right at the portals of your school and academy, where you promise within 50 hours they can be migrated to talking in English. How do you do it? Wonder of wonders. I experienced personally the same fact when I was migrated from a Malayalam medium school at my place, Kattur, Pompey St. Mary's School. I was transplanted to Don Bosco School, Pachalam. And it was a wonder of wonders for me too, how within a span of 3 months, in a boarding situation, just by hearing 10 to 15 people talking in English, we picked up the language, home talk. And it was not a big difficulty. No one taught us. We were not given exercises to list down words from the newspaper. We were not asked to read books. We were not provided with English notes, but talking took place. It was a wonder how it happened. To this day, I too wonder. How is it possible? So the basic answer will be listening. You have been provided 2 ears and 1 mouth. Remember the ratio, the brain is taking in inputs by 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 2 nostrils, but 1 nose as such. So what is brain's input as the years go by? It is double of what you should take in by way of mouth, so to say. So listening is a fundamental aspect of learning a language. Just hearing, listening are both poles apart, they say. We hear noises around. Say, a roadside vendor will be calling out in a sing-song manner and selling things. We will be hearing from afar, say the fish vendor, he calls out. And nowadays you see a horn fixed to their cycle. They just make a noise, honk, and the lady of the house rushes to the gate. So the hearing process, listening process is complete. We know at the regularity of 8 o'clock, there is a fish vendor passing by. Now, what happens to a child hearing the same sound? Of course, the first day the child may mistake it for some kids playing pranks. But then later the child also will understand it is a fish vendor. So the aspect of sound going into the brain indicates what for, what is the activity. And the eyes also play a very good role in comprehending what's happening around. So basically, what do we intake? We intake things seen around. We also imbibe what is happening around. Basically, we talk of nouns and verbs. Very simple. These are the two pillars of any language. And as Mr. Hogg teaches in Japan and other places, he vouches to say, you need not send your children to school, LKG or UKG, to learn to talk a language. I am also of the same opinion. You don't have to send your children to school just to make a child talk a language. It's not necessary. When you talk in that language, definitely the child also will automatically pick up. Sound pickup is by default a function of the brain. And sound and sight files, say video and audio files, are being absorbed by the brain for correlating both and the possibility of understanding what is what happens in the brain. I hope you're catching what I'm telling. It's simple logic, simple reasoning. What's happening in the brain? There are no areas in the brain which is catering to German, which is catering to French, which is catering to English. There are no areas in the brain. It's all bioelectrical connections. Carbon, pure carbon. You must be wondering, what is this? 1.25 kilo of brain doing? It is receiving inputs. It is receiving inputs, and based on the inputs received, it will react. Just as we poke our hand, there is pain felt. Sounds heard around will be automatically repeatable by human brain. A parrot also does the same thing. It repeats. And humans are doubly powered. So many times above a parrot. And there is no difficulty in a child learning. The child learns so effortlessly, almost like duck to water intakes. Any language, because they pick up sounds. They are not worried about Malayalam. They are not worried about English or French. They pick up any sound that is heard around and repeat. Inhibitions never bar them from making or repeating the sound that they heard a few minutes ago. This is human brain's capability. So learning a language becomes very, very difficult. When you are shedding your inhibitions, whether we will make a mistake, whether others will just make fun of what we say, or a misspelled, mispronounced word, all these are the psychological barriers. And once these barriers are broken, we learn the language. We are into the language, and the pickup is very fast. It's a matter of learning persons, places, things, nouns, and action words, verbs. All the rest of the grammar just fall into line. There is nothing will bar you from learning a language as effortlessly, even without books and exercises, just by hearing. This is my conviction, and I can guarantee within 50 hours I can make you comfortable in home language talking in English. That's for sure. Join with me today. There are techniques to learn easily to talk. Thank you.